It's my great pleasure to be joining this transnational discussion about women's leadership and sharing some of our experiences here at UNSW about a new form of vertical job sharing. Job sharing has been a key part of the toolkit many employers have used to promote inclusion, and especially gender-based inclusion. It is a tool that can serve men and women alike, especially those with parental responsibilities. But the reality of how those responsibilities are distributed in our society means that tackling the challenge of combining care work with paid work is one of the big challenges for realising gender equality in all roles, including in women's leadership. Leadership, however, raises distinct challenges for job sharing. In many areas, people are concerned that at the highest levels, where key strategic, commercial or risk-based judgments are made, accountability is critical and that sharing of accountability can be problematic. My own experience of taking on a new leadership role in the university in the context of the Grand Challenges program brought that home when I proposed a form of co-leadership or job sharing of that very limited leadership role. Based on that experience and a lot of reading and thought, we came up with a new form of job sharing. No doubt people have done it elsewhere before, but to our knowledge, a new way of thinking about job sharing that builds on the benefits of traditional models, but tries to vary its design along three key dimensions to make it more suited to leadership roles. The three key dimensions are symmetry, the generational splitting of roles, and verticality as opposed to horizontality. So what do I mean by those three levers? The first, symmetry, suggests that one doesn't need to think of job share as 3 days and 3 days or a strict split with some overlap in the middle. Job sharing could be 80-20, 70-30, 60-40. It could be split across the day, across the week, and it could be designed flexibly to meet the needs of each job share partner. So at its most extreme, imagine a role where someone works a long day, but someone comes in at the end of the day to allow them to go home and eat dinner with their family. Someone works a very compressed 12 to 2 day from home to pick up strategic and difficult work that takes the load off another job share partner that allows them to lead to go home for dinner. Or flexibly across the week in ways that promote the pool of applicants for job sharing being much larger. The second tool is again about enlarging the scope of who might participate, making it fit more jobs and more people. And that is about intergenerational sharing. Current models of job sharing often draw on two mid-career professionals, often female identifying, with similar skills, interests, and life care responsibilities. That makes the pool quite small. But imagine you could share it across a much larger array of people, including those who are prior to retirement, thinking about retirement, but not yet ready to make that decision. We think that people pre-retirement are an ideal potential job share applicant. They have a wealth of experience. They can engage in a form of training and mentorship that's natural and really valuable both for employees and an organisation. But they're often looking to slow down just a bit and to gradually exit rather than work very, very hard until the last minute on the job and then leave abruptly. So targeting mid-career professionals and pre-retirement professionals for a match in a job sharing arrangement can again be a promising way of reimagining job sharing that creates a kind of natural mentoring and transmission of institutional knowledge, but in the process expands the range of possibilities of who might be able to job share and in what role. And the third lever is critical for leadership roles. It says that there needs to be a vertical allocation of responsibility where someone has ultimate responsibility for the partnership and for key decisions in cases of disagreement. I've done 2 job shares, one pretty successful, the other not so much. And in the not successful one, it would have been a great help if there had been a tie-breaking rule when we disagreed. These are all things that are outside my 9 to 5, 5-day-a-week professorial role, or some might say 9 to 9, but they are important leadership roles where I have experienced both the benefits and the challenges of job sharing, and think that a tie-breaking rule, no one needs to take offence, it's absolutely clear, one person has responsibility for those calls, can be really helpful. And it's helpful for senior management knowing who do I call if I've got concerns, who's responsible for sorting these things out. Well, we put all three of these together at UNSW in a really important trial in 2019, which has now been expanded and extended as a medium-term program this year and beyond. And what that consisted in was two 80-20 trials, so note asymmetry, between people at relatively similar but somewhat different career stages. In one case, that was our Deputy Vice-Chancellor Eileen Baldry and her co-Deputy Vice-Chancellor appointed as part of this trial, Professor Lisa Sargent. Very similar in many ways but slightly different in where they are in their career. And a similar kind of asymmetry in generations as well as allocation was in our division of knowledge and enterprise exchange between Warwick Dawson and John Arneil. Note, a male-to-male match. So you had asymmetry, a mild degree of intergenerationality, or one would never call it a generation. And thirdly, a clear senior partner. So Eileen remained the Deputy Vice-Chancellor and Lisa was the co-DVC in this arrangement, which continues today. The same for Warwick and John. And that gave senior management reassurance that Eileen's role would have continuity, that she would be responsible for making the arrangement work and for ensuring that the division of responsibilities within the team worked both for the team and for those working for them and to whom they report. You can ask them, they'll be joining some of these sessions, about how they found it, but I think the overwhelming response was it really was a great success. It was two minds rather than one on knotty problems. It was an ability to represent the office or the team at multiple events, to sign documents when someone else was out of the office, and to share knowledge, to do more mentoring, to have more access for staff to senior people in the office, because there were more minds and more time available to share around. That doesn't mean it's perfect. There are challenges, and every context has to be one that is thought through really carefully so you get the design right. But we believe it's a tool that really is good for organisations and employees of all kinds, but if it's done right, has particular potential to promote and support women's leadership, including women who have significant caring responsibilities stepping up at a stage in their career where they're ready for leadership, but those responsibilities making find the time really challenging. So we hope that you'll read the report that goes along with this idea, you'll ask us questions, and that Jessie and Rose and myself, who are the three co-authors of the report, as well as Eileen and Lisa, Warwick and John, can answer your questions so that you might consider promoting this kind of reimagined job sharing in your own organisation or in those that you work with.